Well, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get on to the video. The silent treatment. We see your mic, or both of theirs. Got a little interesting article for you. King Charles deals with Harry and that wife of his. We know Meghan wanted to meet one on one with King Charles after the funeral of Queen Elizabeth, or even shortly before. But the king went up to Scotland with Queen Camilla to have some privacy after the exhausting 13 days he had just gone through. That meant Meghan could not have her personal meeting with the king. Don't you all think it's strange that Harry is King Charles' son, but it shows who controls or who the leader is in that group, who wears the pants, so to speak, and it's Meghan, that Meghan wanted to meet with him privately, not even with her husband. The word is Meghan wanted to use her feminine wiles on King Charles, which don't work any longer, to tell him she truly loves the royals, and no matter what is said to Oprah, I have lots of info on Oprah and Meghan. And in Harry's memoir, they both need titles for their hidden children. Meghan and Harry want titles for Archie and Lily, but then they could merge out the little children and make scads of money, or so they believe. Someone taught the royals how to deal with a sociopathic narcissist, because all of them did not speak to the couple in the days preceding Queen Elizabeth's funeral. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, gave Meghan the death stare and walked toward and intimidated Meghan on that walkabout in Windsor. No words, no fuel for the narc to use. And when Countess Sophie gave Meghan the death stare on the day of the funeral, Meghan looked timid and diminished. The royal women have learned how to handle the dodgy, dicey narcissists. The royal men have likewise been instructed on how to deal with vile persons such as Meghan and Harry. The men studiously avoided speaking to Henry and outside the church while the royals waited for their cars or buses. Harry cast about searching for anyone to talk to him. Princess Eugenie's husband locked eyes with Harry, and then Jack Brooksbanks fiddled with his glasses and looked down and away. Prince William set the tone by not acting friendly toward the two people who have been chipping away at the royal family, telling lies about how awful that they were and are, even as Queen Elizabeth lay dying. Remember that Harry decided to not see his grandmother when she asked him to visit her this past summer, and this was in the weeks preceding Elizabeth's death. And you can see Harry is just standing all by himself. They're not ignoring him. They're just talking and doing their usual thing. But they all know that they're mic'd up. They're not going to say anything in front of him. And he knows what he's done. But yet, he'd rather stand back and act like a petulant child. Back to Prince William. He's protecting his father's reign as king and did not make Harry feel comfortable. That's not William's job. His allegiance is to the king first, and then his wife, his children, and himself. Harry now sits at the bottom of the royals as the most unpopular royal alongside Andrew. It's up to Harry to fix things. Harry has to dump his wife at home, visit, make amends, and even then Harry must realize that he's purposefully lost the royals' trust. They'll never be able to trust him again. King Charles is not saying a word to the couple. He's waiting to see what is in Harry's memoir and what Meghan and Harry say in their Netflix show or docuseries, and then the king will decide how to proceed with their overseas couple. Also, whatever she might say in the Archetype podcast. That is why Harry and Meghan are desperate to edit Harry's book and the Netflix footage. They say treasonous things against King Charles, Queen Camilla, and Prince William, and Princess Catherine. They also disparaged Queen Elizabeth, and I believe Harry and the wife thought they could get away with it and turn public opinion against the British monarchy until they witnessed the world's love and devotion to Queen Elizabeth. I think that threw them for a loop. I don't think they realized there would be so much interest globally. They knew that the royal family was recognized and highly regarded, but I think that they underestimated the love that everyone and respect and admiration that people had for Queen Elizabeth. That is why Harry and Meghan are desperate to edit Harry's book and the Netflix footage. It's been said that they won't be allowed, but that Harry is able to add a final chapter in his book since the Queen died, and it will be the events of her funeral. They say treasonous things against King Charles, all of them. So what do you guys think about this? It also says, I believe Harry and his wife thought they could get away with this. I think that there was a wake-up call. Harry and Meg saw how adored the Queen was, how world leaders liked to be around Charles and William, and how the same world leaders actually inquired if Harry and the wife were attending that reception on the day before the Queen's funeral. Not that they wanted to see them, but because they wanted to avoid them and knew that they could no longer be trusted. They did not wish to be in the presence of that couple who tell secrets and cannot keep a confidence. Netflix does not want any changes made, though, and it appears that they will win the fight. The show will not be edited and filmed yet again, so that Harry and Meghan aren't going to come off well at all. They will look incredibly tone-deaf, mean, and out of touch with reality. The world knows they chose not to see Queen Elizabeth in her final days. The world knows that they were not nice to Prince Philip by going on Oprah when he lay dying in the hospital. The world knows that Oprah is meddling in the royals' business, even though she stated that she doesn't get involved in families' private matters. She most certainly did, and she didn't ask the all-important follow-up questions that we would have asked had we interviewed her. The world knows Harry and Meghan are shut out by the royals. As for Harry's book, the publisher wants the mean content in it because they know it will sell more copies. Don't forget, they've paid a lot of money. Harry is frantically trying to tone down his comments, but it looks like he will lose the fight. Also, then the king will know how to proceed, because it was rumored that King Charles III was withholding those titles to see what is written about the royal family in Harry's memoirs, and also what would be on the Netflix docuseries, and anything Meghan might say. No meetings will be necessary. No words will need to be exchanged. It will be all evident in what Meghan and Harry do and say in the projects, and their panicked response these days makes me think that they say some really awful things about Charles and his family. So what do you all think will happen? Let me know in the comments. I just wanted to add this. I found on Pinterest. I have faced so many challenges this past year, but I was blessed to have some pretty amazing people who stood right by my side through it all. You know who you are. All I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you. I hope you'll subscribe and that you'll leave a comment, like if you like the video, and I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day, everyone.